right, part two. He dropped a new clutch off for me. I've installed it. This will be the first time I get an opportunity to see what this thing's gonna do with a proper working clutch. However, I need a Phillips head screwdriver to adjust the idle because we were tampering with it last time. So let's see what it does now. I want to see how easy it is to start now. Oh, it's this scooter. We have to come over here, hold this brake, push this button. There she goes. All right, that sound that you guys hear, all that is this. So I want to see what it does after it idles down. That's a pretty good idle. I mean, it's a little rough, but it is idling. Okay, that's what I was wondering about. So let's turn, because that was the enricher coming off. So let's turn this up just slightly. And now let's start it again and see what happens here. Alright, let's see if I can start it now without needing to do anything crazy like give it gas. There, the enricher just came on, so the back tire should spin. When the enricher comes off, the back tire should basically stop spinning. If it just does a tiny little bit, it's not a big deal. The enricher's still on right now. Wait for her to idle down. There she goes, starting the idle down. Back tire has almost stopped. Boom. And it's staying running. Like I said, a little bit of movement, not too bad. That's fine. That's the clutch breaking in. It completely stopped. Scooter's still idling. Good to go. Good to go. Oh yeah. There we go. I'm going to take her for a little ride, see what she does. She's sitting here running good. However, all he has is highs. He doesn't have low beams, so we're just going to ride around with highs. Front brake does work. Yep. So let's take this thing for a rip, see how it does. And now look at that. He can stop and let go, and it doesn't fight him, and it'll idle just fine. How about that? Open her up. Check the front brakes. I don't want to go flying over the handlebars. Good. Let's take her for a little cruise here. Alright, let's open this puppy up, see how she does. quick. Tap brakes on the way in. He's got some squeaky front brakes. Told him we weren't going to worry about it because the pads and the rotors are fine. It's just got some cheap brakes on it. I just kind of tap them on the way in. Good morning. So, I'm back at this part 2 here. I'll be putting some custom gas-filled compression shocks in here today. I'll be removing these, pulling those out, replacing them with some decent shocks because somebody lowered the front of this scooter, and yeah, this thing has no shocks. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. So, anyways, I believe I'm also going to be taking a look. He bought a upgrade service pack for this. He wants a full tune-up done. I also need to inspect this brake handle up here to find out why it's not triggering the rear light, and this light bulb doesn't have a running light, so I'm gonna see if I can take that off today. And yeah, we're gonna take that off, and I have some LED bulbs. We'll see if one of them fits, and if it fits, we'll send it as is. I bought some LED bulbs, and normally these are generic, so you shouldn't have any more problems with burning out lights. So, we got our little work ahead of us here. I'm going to see what can be installed and what can't, and we'll go from there. So, man. Boy, oh boy. I got all the way down to the shocks on there, and then this side wanted to round off. That's junk Chinese steel for it. One bolt stopped an entire setup of installing new shocks. I don't have a bolt to replace it, so I'm not cutting it off because then this whole system wouldn't work, and we're not doing all that. So I pulled the taillight apart for now, put an LED bulb in there. That way he doesn't keep running into bulbs burning out all the time. We'll see how that does. I bought those in red just to make sure they'd be red. Even though there's a red panel, I wanted them in red. Took this apart, had to look at the safety switch. It's not fixable. So he needs to, well, it's not, the one that's in there is not fixable, so he needs to replace this whole brake master cylinder if he wants to get that working. So next up is the tune-up box. So we couldn't do the shocks. I was able to do that. Couldn't do this. So, yep, we're just knocking things off the list as we go here. Well, both of these are cheap spark plugs. So the orange one is the one that was in it, and the red one is the one that was brand new in that little box there. I'm installing it, but I gotta tell you, looks like he just did this. Both of these are crap spark plugs, so next time invest in an NGK, some kind of good iridium plug. These are cheap little spark plugs. I'm gonna put it in just because I have it. May as well do it while I'm here. So, well, and your spark plugs in, the old one's here. I gotta tell you though, feels like somebody's been doing a lot of stuff here. If you can see, the whole cooling shroud is gone down here on the head, melted off, and chunks of plastic are stuck to it. So this isn't the cooling system on this, isn't even working properly. And feels like the spark plug hole is pretty loose. So I'm guessing whoever originally put this spark plug in here, or did it multiple times, they cross-threaded the thing inside there. Hopefully that doesn't create a problem for them down the road. I managed to get it tight, but not super tight, but hopefully it holds up, man. This engine is, it's been through a lot. It's been through a lot. Let's just say that. This thing's been through a lot. I don't even want to mess with all this because I can see how dry rotted the lines are. Like, look at this vacuum line. It's just peeling. See that? Now I'm going to have to take this off, cut this, put the vacuum line back on here. Right? This is probably 90% of a bunch of the running problems. You can see that whole line is just... I don't want to mess with anything extra. I don't, because it's just going to end up bad. So let me cut that line, you know, slide it back down a little bit further and go from there. I'm done with this scooter. I don't want to mess with it any further, because I think it's just going to start creating problems now if I start doing any of the other stuff. I fixed that vacuum line. Let's see how she runs now. New spark plug, all that. Oh yeah, I got to hold this side down. Let her warm up. The probably turn the idle up just a little bit. The idle seems a little bit low. Let me grab my Phillips head. Turn it up just slightly. There we go. Yeah, I know, you want to die. You gotta warm her up a little bit before she'll be happy. Still wants more. Now that I connected the vacuum drive correctly, it wants more throttle. Give her a little bit. There we go. Alright, I didn't replace that fuel filter because that one's still in really good shape. I don't want to mess with any of these lines because I can see they're dry rotted. Probably the best this thing has run so far.